I want to officially welcome you wherever it is you're listening to us from. And of course, we don't only actually transmit in Lagos alone, we actually stream on YouTube as well. So if you're in any other part of the world and you want to be part of the conversation, go right on YouTube. It's VOP 90.3 FM, or literally just type Voice of the People 90.3 FM and definitely click on that. You'll definitely see the current program going on live. So I'd implore you to share, like, and be part of the conversation. My name is Esther Wachiku. The Political Spotlight comes up here every Sunday from 6:30 to possibly 8:25 p.m. And what do we do on the Political Spotlight? We shed light, we highlight, we give insight into some of the prominent political issues bedeviling the country. And of course, beyond giving you more in-depth analysis on it or giving us a different perspective, a different purview from what the generality of people could actually perceive the situation to be, our analyst gets to give you a logical reasoning direction as to some of the conversations that we have here. And there is an impression I actually want to correct. If I listen to some of my colleagues when they anchor some of their programs as well, and I hear callers calling to say, oh, what you guys always do is just to complain or talk and talk and talk and talk. So if you're a communication person, or if you understand theories in communication, you would understand what they call agenda setting theory. Now, the media is referred to as the fourth estate of the realm. We are meant to keep the other arms of government, all right, make them accountable, keep a check on them. We are like a bridge between the government and of course the people. We transmit information to you, all right, and logical and factual information, not just hearsay or rumors or speculations. And one of the things we do in this program is to basically let you know the importance of following up with what is going on within your political space. Your landscape is important for you to follow up with it, so you're not ignorant of what is going on around you. And so that is what we do right here on the Political Spotlight. We shed light on some of those prominent political issues, and then of course we open the phone lines and you're part of the conversation. So officially, welcome. My name is Esther Wachiku. You can follow me on YouTube. That is on Estiq Media on YouTube. ESTIQ MEDIA. ESTIQ MEDIA. On Facebook, it's Esther Wachiku. On X, it's Esther Wachiku. That's ESTANWACHUKWU at Esther Wachiku. And of course, on Instagram, it's Esther Unwaz. ESTANWAZ. All right. So officially, I welcome you. And of course, if you have a WhatsApp number, I would implore you to actually follow up with that and send your messages, all right, before I open the phone lines for calls, so you can begin to let me know what you think based on the topics that we'll be discussing on the Political Spotlight. So the WhatsApp number, which I would implore the YouTube streamer to put on the screen, is 0817-1756-338. 0817-1756-338. And pardon my voice, all right, I'm under the weather, but we have to work. It's very, very important for us to come here and give you factual, insightful information on issues across the Nigerian political landscape. So we know, as we always talk about on this program, that Nigeria is Africa's largest economy and is facing a number of economic challenges that threaten its growth, prospects, and stability. And of course, without mincing words, there is a high inflation, of course, the foreign exchange rate volatility, low productivity, weak governance, and poor infrastructure. However, Nigeria has also enormous potential and opportunities to overcome these challenges and achieve sustainable and inclusive growth. All right. So one of the important things that we need to consider is this. Nigeria is already wrought with most of these challenges. We do know that. But the question is, are these challenges insurmountable? And the government in power, do they understand how to surmount these challenges? Or are they understanding of it and working towards resolving those problems, or they are basically lackadaisical or nonchalant? I think that's the reason why we always call out the government on some of these issues. The presidency, we say, you have your governors, you have your senators, you have your House of Rep members. Every time you call the presidency, do you question your governors? Do you question your senators? Do you question your ministers? These are persons who are meant to directly communicate with you. I mustn't be the one to respond to everything. When you have state governors, when you have your your House of Rep members, when you have your local government chairman, when you have your councillors, when you have your House of Rep members, you're meant to write to them and ask them questions. Why are we not receiving development within our constituencies? Okay, and that's the reason why all of these members are there, to represent each and every one of us basically at the grassroots, since the president cannot be everywhere at the same time. But regardless, though, people feel that if the president, all right, if the head is astute and active, definitely the branches will have to follow through. If they don't follow through, they'll be cut off. So they feel that if the governors are not responsive, if the ministers are not responsive, if the local government chairman or House of Rep members or councillors are not responsive, it's because the person at the head is not putting fire under them to be responsive to the needs of the people that they represent. That's basically the general purview, right? Okay, so the reason why I'm trying to help us understand the ground norm is this. There's been a call for a protest in Nigeria. In fact, a couple of people have said the call of protest has taken so long that it has lost its momentum. It has lost the pulse it garnered earlier, the adrenaline that actually came up with the protest from the inception. Now, you know that what was a fundamental for this call of the protest was an inspiration from the Kenyan uprising. Others have said that there is a protest virus in some West African nations or Central African nations. We know that there's a protest in Uganda, there's one in Kenya, and of course a proposed upcoming protest in Nigeria. And when the call started off, a lot of people thought it was just talk. But when it gained momentum and everybody is saying we must come out to protest, we must come out to ask the government why they're not being responsive to us, why do they think they're not accountable to us, then I think that was when the government, that is president, the governors, the ministers, the traditional leaders, everyone now said, okay, this is serious and we need to put these people in check, right? So in the course of the call of the protest, all these sectors and institutions that were usually not responsive to the people whenever they talk have actually organized series of press conferences almost throughout last week. So let me read out to you. The Inspector General of Police actually called for a press conference where he gave the positives and the negatives of undergoing the protest, literally discouraging young people to come out to protest. We have the Defense Headquarters too coming out to tell us that they would not tolerate anarchy. They're ready for anybody who wants to create chaos or a breakdown of law and order, right? We also had the Navy to come out to disclose to us that, hey, you guys, don't go on this. It is not necessary. We had the DSS tell us that they have uncovered the faces behind this protest. That is those who are planning this protest, right? We now have the IGP, that is the police intelligence, telling us that there are foreign mercenaries behind this planned protest. So we've been getting updates from these agencies and parastatals of government that literally on most occasions are silent when people are clamoring for good governance and for the government to tell them precisely why the policies they are implementing are not benefiting the people they're actually meant to help with this policy implementation. So that's basically, where the conversation has steered, which is quite, would I say, a paradox if we want to look at that figure of speech, because, like I told you, there's been complaint that this administration has been nonchalant towards the plight of the Nigerian people. And so when the call for the protest came on, it was like there's a deja vu, an immediate response from all. So the governors called for an executive meeting with security agencies. The president called the traditional leaders together to speak with them and tell them that, see, speak to your people. We're already doing what is needed to be done. It will take some time, but please, I need you to speak with your people. Now, I read in Sahara Reporters that one of the process of gathering those traditional leaders, according to Sahara Reporters, they allege that some monies, were able to grace some palms. We also read in Sahara Reporters too that Lagos state government tried to do something like that, but when the publication, became viral, they halted it and shifted the meeting to an indefinite time. We also had an interview right here with Omoyele Sowore, which of course a couple of us may have listened to, and he actually reeled out his own perspective. You already know how he is. He's a controversial person. He never has anything good to say about the government in power, especially if they're not living up to expectation. And he said quite a lot. So we've had diverse opinions. Those who are supporting the APC, those who are opposing the APC. Now we've had spokespersons of the government come out to tag this protest to a certain ethnic group and to a certain political party or an ex-political party presidential candidate. That's why I said there have been quite a lot of, would I say, back and forth on this proposed protest. Conspiracy theories have come. The governors and ministers, everybody is saying one thing or the other. The DSS too is also part of the process. But the question is it wrong for the Nigerian people to go on a protest? What exactly is wrong about it? According to the Nigerian police, that is the Inspector General of Police, he actually said that any protest that does not have a face is a kind of protest that can lead to a breakdown of law and order. So he's saying that if those who are organizing this protest can let us see their faces, register their names at the headquarters, that is, write your name and your home address, that would ensure or give them the solitude, all right, or the confidence that this protest is going to be peaceful and will not lead to any form of breakdown of law and order. The military has also told us that they would not allow anarchy prevail. They're ready. In fact, the IGP spoke to police officers across all the strategic formations in the country to go to vulcanizer workshops, right, to burn most of the tires. So those who may want to take advantage of this protest for nefarious means would not see most of these tires to burn down police stations like what transpired during the NSAS protest, or block the road, or, you know, put a deterrent to economic activities across various regions in the country. And a lot of things have actually come up from most of the reaction and responses of the government towards the call for the protest. Others have now said, with all that has been done, would it be possible for this protest to eventually take place? The protesters are telling the president that if you kill, if you arrest, if you maim anybody, we will ensure that Tinubu is actually brought down. That is, they will ensure that he resigns. That's basically what the protesters are saying, specifically some organizers of the protest. We saw some young persons actually organize a press conference saying that they were behind, that the faces behind the planned protest, and they will go on for it no matter the discouragement. Some northern elements have come out to say that we are not going to be part of it. Sokoto State has said they're not going to be part of the protest. Some other states have told the press that their constituents or their residents within their various states or regions will not be part of the protest. Hope Uzodinma has said his state will not be part of the protest. Inyesom Wike has said the FCT will not be part of the protest. You know, so, however, like I said, whether there's going to be a protest or not, there are fundamental issues that needs to be addressed. And what is this administration doing about it? There's been quite a lot of talk as to the fact that people feel people are not being fair to Tinubu's administration. In fact, his daughter told the market women that they should ensure that they warn their children not to balkanize her father's administration, discourage them from coming out to protest. They should give her father 3 years before they begin to call for a protest. That's basically what the daughter said. However, I want us to take a listen to some prominent Nigerians, okay? Some, like say, vocal persons who you could term as activists, ex-DSS directors, and also the special assistant to the president on public affairs talk about this proposed protest. And I want us to, from their response, to know where we're going to head on from there. However, let's start off with the president's public special assistant on public affairs. And let's take a listen to what he has to say concerning this particular planned protest via a monitor television program.
You know, the way the leadership system in Nigeria is structured, we have the traditional leadership, then we have the different tiers of government, then I mean, we have leadership at different levels, and the one way to communicate effectively to the people is to ensure that whatever information is being passed across is passed across every tier, every set of this leadership level in such a way that we are listening to one another. We are not talking on one another. We hear the people, the traditional leaders, for instance, like they said when they met with Mr. President yesterday, is that they are closer to the people. They have come with their information as to how the people feel. I mean, if Nigerians feel before that their words or their concern are not getting to Mr. President, Such visit is a confirmation that they do get to Mr. President, and Mr. President in return has explained to the traditional leaders exactly why and what he is doing and why he is doing that. And again, still suing for patience. I mean, it's very easy for Nigeria to not want to pay attention to that, because over the years we've heard about this patient from successive governments in the past, but this is different. The policies that Mr. President have come up with, the reforms are essential to reposition our country, are essential to stop the bleed, are essential to stop us from going into bankruptcy. And the signs are there that that these policies are right and are making the right result, and we can see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we are doing that bend, and in no time the result will start coming, you know, and it will touch the lives of average Nigeria. So such visit, you know.
All right, you just listened to Audu Aliyu right there. Audu Aliyu is the president's special assistant on public affairs. And of course, he was trying to tell us precisely how the president's policies will take time to benefit the people, and that they should try to be patient. They should understand, regardless of the fact that they've heard this over and over again. All right, let's take a listen to Mike Ejiofor. He is a former director, Department of State Services, concerning the upcoming planned protest.
As enshrined in our constitution, this is a democracy. But I think they did us a lot of good by giving sufficient notice to government of their intentions to go on the protest. And you can see the swell ground of appeals from various stakeholders, various interest groups, appealing to them to shelve the plan. No matter how good the intentions are, I believe that this will be hijacked eventually. You remember what happened at EndSARS and the amount of property destroyed and the loss the nation and individuals even incurred. Now, looking at this, their demands, we all agreed that there's hardship in the country, there's economic hardship, there's hunger, and there's anger in the land. But again, people who are more hungry now will exploit the opportunity to even loot people's shops, and they eventually turn violent. So that's why we'll continue to, I personally will continue to appeal to the organizers to shelve the plans, give government time to look at this. Fortunately, the president is consulting various interest groups. He has met with governors, he has met with party leaders, he has met with religious leaders and traditional rulers, and so on. And this, I think it's only wise that government is giving time to look at this and
You just listened to ex-DSS Director Mike Ejiofor actually discouraging youth on going on the planned protest, saying that definitely there are elements that will take advantage of that planned protest. But Nigerians have diverse views as to why they think the protest will not be taken over by this nefarious element. Others feel that it is deliberate, that the government is running ahead, and if at all the protest commences, they could actually create what you call a counter group of persons that may want to carry on with this nefarious activity, which will elicit them or give them the permission to shoot on sight. Because the Nigerian military has said, hey, you guys, I don't care. You can go about your protest, it's your civic responsibility. But we're warning you, this protest is faceless. We don't know those who are in charge of this protest. And if we cannot identify those who are the face of this protest, it means that there are nefarious element trying to take advantage, all right, of this particular planned protest to create a form of anarchy. And that we, the Nigerian military, will not stand for that. In other words, they're discouraging people from having to go on this protest because, according to them, there are faceless elements clamoring for this protest. The same thing too with the Inspector General of Police. So again, is it wrong that Nigerians are going for a protest this time? That's the first question. The second question is it because it's President Tinubu, because of all the controversies surrounding his person, like his personality, right from when his struggle at Nadeco, when he became the governor of Lagos State, the controversy surrounding his certificate, that is at the time when, you know, the whole situation was at the court and the tribunal before he was confirmed as a president. So a lot of people feel that there are elements who are just trying to create bad press to balkanize his administration and possibly steal the opportunity for the Southwest region to enjoy 8 years. Like I said, if you're an ex and you follow these conversations, you would understand the diverse views of a lot of Nigerians as to what this administration is all about, what they consider this administration to be all about, and how they interpret this particular planned protest. So, however, let's listen to Deji Adeyanju. He's also another strong voice and an advocate, all right, a very strong advocate for the people. And during a particular Monitor television program, you're going to hear the voice of the presenter interrupting when he made some remarks while he was responding to her question. So pardon me for that, but I want you to hear what Deji Adeyanju had to say about this, the essence of the protest and the reason why it is important for the protest to take place.
For things that leaders are elected to do, why don't you pray before? Why don't you be praying instead of going to the toilet to ease yourself and be saying God should come and help you ease yourself? Things that God has given you the capacity, the power. It's only in Nigeria. Nigeria is the world headquarters of fake pastors and 419s who stay on the pulpit and deceive people. A country where leaders are elected to do a job, they don't do it. Religious leaders will be telling you to pray for them. So you think God is that jobless to come and be helping your leaders to fix the country? So these are the people who they enable bad leadership and bad governance in this country. Why are Nigerians protesting? Very simple. Yeah. It's because there's massive hunger, disillusionment, and discontentment in the country. That's the reason why Nigerians are protesting. This president, you say you want to dialogue with a president, Nigerians should come and sit on the round table with a president that on Wednesday, this same president on Wednesday, he sent an executive bill to the National Assembly. The National Assembly did accelerated hearing to extend the tenure of the IG in 1 day. And they even made mistakes in the amendment. They amended, the sections that they amended was wrong. And he did that just for nepotistic reasons. That's the reason why he did that. He did not send an accelerated bill to the National Assembly to end the suffering of Nigerians.
What makes you feel it has nepotistic?
The man is Yoruba.
Undertones.
The man is Yoruba.
But that's a whole different conversation.
See, the truth is very bitter.
I guess what you're saying.
The truth is bitter. The truth is bitter. But somebody has to say the truth. This man is supposed to retire in a month or so. You are trying to extend his tenure. These are part of the reasons why Nigerians are protesting. When Buhari was here, carrying out nepotistic tendencies, we all condemned him.
Well, I know the Constitution allows him to do.
This man has come. This man has come. And he's doing worse than what Buhari did. Almost everybody, every key person in any government, parastatal or agency, the key positions are apportioned for Yoruba people. That is even by the way.
Part of this,
yes, it's not part of the discussion. But it is part of the
demands.
It is part of the reasons. The reasons fueling the protest, because there's inequality, there's nepotism in government and around government, and the body language of the government supports that People are not being carried along in the country.
Now, speaking of being carried along, the president says, look, I hear you. I feel your pain. It's only been a year plus, that I've been in the saddle. Give me more time. Give me patience. I've put in some policies, increased minimum wage to 70,000 naira from 30,000 naira. Student loans, the ball's been set rolling on that. Palliatives, Nigeria Youth Investment Fund. He also promises to, give or come up with more inclusive government.
Yes, as it may sound or it may look, this government is not the reason why Nigeria is in this much of a mess. Because the Buhari government did a lot of damage to this country in 8 years. However, this government in 1 year has done more damage to the Nigerian economy than Buhari did in 8 years. And I will explain very briefly. When this government came, it made dollar at around 600 naira. It made dollar at around 600 naira. Today, dollar is almost about 1.6. When this government came, this government met a basket of tomato at 15,000. Today, a basket of tomato is above 100,000. When this government came, it met rice around 50-something to 60,000.
A bag, 50 kg bag.
Yes.
Right.
Now, it's almost about 100,000. When this government came, a sack of beans was around 28,000 to 30,000, depending on where you buy from. Today it's about 75,000. When this government came, a sack of flour was around 18 to 20,000 naira. Today it's about 68,000. When this government came, it moved a carton of noodles from 4.5.
Yeah, we could spend all night reeling out all of that.
The list is endless. This is why Nigerians are protesting. Nigerians are protesting because all is not well with the country. And you cannot tell Nigerians that, this is how you should protest. It's very simple. Today, what are the issues? We are battling with hyperinflation.
Right.
We are battling with a situation where 100,000 is now the new 10,000 naira. Go to many parts of this country today. People cannot even afford 1 square meal. We're not talking about 3 square meals. People are eating grass in many parts of northern Nigeria. Grass. And it's same situation in southern Nigeria. So Nigerians want to express themselves, and government is saying Nigerians cannot express themselves.
No, government, I doubt very much if government is saying that. I'm not a mouthpiece for the government. Government is saying Nigerians are constitutionally allowed to, express themselves, vent or ventilate if you like, but going the way of
All right, you just finished listening to DJ Adinyoji right there via Monitor Television program, precisely on Arise Television. And of course, they were talking about matters arising, which of course is the planned protest. You heard he said quite a lot of things. Okay, so let me say some things based on what he talked about food. You guys, the food matter is not a joke. So it's weekend, right? I swear I go market, go buy food. I go price yam. Me and the yam seller, we were arguing together. Oga won't buy yam. The guy was telling me 1 tuber of yam that he will collect 9,000. I said, for what? Ogeni, waiting. He said 9,000. I said, no, this is old yam, not the new yam. Because the new yam, it's very light. I said, no, it's not yet. I will eat new yam possibly in August. But the old yam is still okay. The man said 8.5 last. I said, Oga, no, I can't buy yam from you. 1 tuber of yam. And what is 1 tuber? I want to buy like 4 or 5. Do you know that eventually we agreed, and he agreed to sell it 7.5 for me? I bought 4 tubers yesterday. Do you know how much that was? 30,000 something to buy 4 tubers of yam, which of course you know that. Hey God, hey, you don't even want to try it. Not to talk of buying a paint of Gary. Do you understand what is going on? It's not funny. I'm telling you, it's not funny. And these are staple food items that literally sustains a household. So right now, people can't even eat to belly food. When you chop, you drink water, make a belly food. That's how everybody's managing right now. It's important for the government to understand what exactly the people are going through. It's not funny. It's not being so. Do you know that a lot of people now buy the white beans? They don't buy the brown one. So the white beans is like 8,500, while the brown beans is 9,000. If you want to buy it rather than buying the whole half bag or whatever. So that 500 difference, rather than buying beans for 10,000 naira, rather go for the one of 9.5. Some people will say there's no difference, but they don't matter. That 500 naira is a difference. It's that crazy. And so if you don't understand how this affects people at the nitty-gritty, where food is there but it's unaccessible, you can't afford it. So I think the president needs to understand that it's beyond sending trucks of rice to states. How many people will receive that rice? It's a major thing to consider. So if the people are calling for a protest, why are you discouraging them? Are you not meant to support and protect? I mean, that's a question. That's the essence of the police being there. If you write to the police and say you want to protest, in the Western world, they do that a lot for any little thing. You see people taking placards and protesting. So it's the responsibility of the Nigerian security to ensure that the protest is peaceful. So why the discouragement? There's been a lot actually to balkanize this protest. They've made it an ethnic thing. The president's spokesperson has come out to say it's a Peter Obi thing. Some persons have come out to say it's the Igbos that are ensuring that this protest takes place, and it has caused a lot of degenerative comments towards ethnic groups. Post-election, that's basically what it has been. It's not a funny situation. However, Joe Igbokwe, who is a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, has said that the planned nationwide protest will not work in Lagos. Igbokwe stated this while he was reacting to the 2023 presidential candidate Omoyele Showore's call for a protest in the state. On Sunday, which is today, Showore revealed where the protesters should convene. And via his Facebook account, the activist said the venue for the protest scheduled for the 1st to the 10th would be the state secretariat in Alausa. So he wrote, #End bad governance in Nigeria. Lagos is ready. Venue, Lagos State Secretariat, Alausa, time 7 a.m. In another post, Showore said that in Edo State, the meeting point for the protest would be Museum Ground, King Square, Ring Road, Benin City. And so again, you know, they were able to give out several venues where this particular planned protest will take place. So the question to you is this: is it possible? Will this protest actually take place? The president's wife has advised that we should go and farm. I'm seeing somebody on YouTube saying, Adeni, saying, Madam, go farm. Stop complaining. Adeni, I enjoy, you know. Please, if you have send food, let's share it, because everybody is maybe you're very comfortable where you are, but the president's wife has said, you guys start farming. That would help. Okay, it would reduce the whole relying on food importation and the expensive method that purchasing food has actually created. And Nigerians are saying that the reason why food is so expensive is because of insecurity. And if the Nigerian security can actually adequately respond to the call of this protest, why don't they respond in quelling and curbing insecurity in the country? All right, that's what they're actually saying. So the protest talk is still ongoing, but there's quite a lot about it. Peter Obi is actually saying, you guys, it's your right to protest, but make sure that, you know, it's peaceful. Make sure that you don't go about creating anarchy or going through a situation where there'll be a breakdown of law and all that. And of course, that was during an interview with one of the Monitor television program, along with the Abia State Governor Alex Oti, where he urged intending protesters to demonstrate in a civil manner. He pointed out that hunger and hopelessness in the country are the sponsors of the August protest. All right, so again, still on Peter Obi, it took everyone quite awry earlier today when a particular staunch supporter of Peter Obi, a supposed friend and a former Labour Party member, Kenneth Okonkwo, decided to cut ties with Peter Obi. According to him, I'm going to read out, he has parted ways with the Labour Party presidential candidate. You remember that earlier, what's his name? Kenneth Okonkwo said he has parted ways with the Labour Party. According to him, he said he cannot be part of a party that is immersed in corruption, and the party is not ready to deal with it. He said he did not leave the APC that also has the same system, all right, parading within that particular party, to come to another party that he thought would be different, that would be sanitized, to be operating the same system that made him leave the APC. So he distanced himself from the Julius Abure National Working Committee. I'm sure right when I made the announcement here, a lot of people were surprised about the fact that Kenneth Okonkwo, some people said that's false, that's not true, your report is not true, before they saw it all over the place. Well, again, Kenneth Okonkwo has come out to say, you know what? I have distanced myself. I am no longer in support of Peter Obi. He stated that for him, Peter Obi does not have what it takes to be a leader. He doesn't have the spine. According to Okonkwo, what he said is that the country needs a solid political party with a robust grassroots base and a decisive leader to wrestle power from the PDP and APC. He noted that the series of events in the Labour Party inspired his determination to chart a new course in his political journey, especially as Peter Obi has refused to seize the moment to build a solid party of integrity. Okonkwo also stated that he was shocked when the former governor of Anambra State publicly declared that he did not promise Nigerians to build a strong Labour Party, but to solve Nigeria's problems, whereas a solid political base is needed to overthrow the opposition parties. He also faulted Peter Obi's failure to dissociate himself from the ongoing crisis and criminal activities ongoing within the Labour Party's National Working Committee, and his failure to support the effort of the Labour Union in fighting for the welfare of workers. And so there have been quite a lot of reaction to that. Some persons have said, okay, apparently this is the Daniel Bwala of Labour Party. Others have said, why did Kenneth Okonkwo come out to say this? You could have easily distanced yourself in your own corner. We've already moved on from you when you said you no longer want to be part of the Labour Party. So why come out to publicly make this statement? You want more dirt, more ridicule on Peter Obi, knowing completely what he's been going through in the hands of the opposition and the supporters of the opposition. And others are now saying, okay, if a supporter of Peter Obi is saying this, then obedience, what exactly are you clamoring for? What do you see in Peter Obi? So the mocking or the mockery and all of that has come back in full force, and Peter Obi was literally trending on X, on social media. There have been quite a number of diverse views, but do you think Kenneth Okonkwo should have come out to write this open letter? I remember Aisha Yuguda also had to come out to publicly have a conversation about this open letter from Kenneth Okonkwo. She said she called him and said, this thing I'm saying on X, is it true? Did you literally write what you wrote? So questions are now being going around and asking, how do you want Peter Obi to lead? You say he doesn't have the spine. Peter Obi intervened in trying to see how the situation within the National Working Committee will be resolved in the Labour Party. You want him to leave a party that gave him the ticket in 2023 because they have an internal wrangling? So is it that anytime there's a problem within the party, then that means the presidential candidate should leave the party? Then others are saying, I think this is a good call for Peter Obi to constitute another political party whereby it will be more of the obedience, who are the basic major supporters of Peter Obi. So there have been quite a lot of back and forth, on the situation with what Kenneth Okonkwo said. And Peter Obi actually has not responded to what Kenneth Okonkwo said. You know him, he takes his time to say stuff. He has not responded. But do you think Kenneth Okonkwo is speaking from an objective point of view? Would you agree with his stance or his perception towards his call on Peter Obi, despite supporting Peter Obi, actually saying that the worst of PDP is better off than what we're currently going through with APC? Kenneth Okonkwo was the one that made that statement. And you also know Daniel Bwala too. He has officially declared that he's going back to APC. So all these things is this. What exactly is going on with our opposition? For Pat Utomi believes that the opposition are literally not doing anything at all. That this protest is meant to be called for and sponsored by the opposition. The political parties, the opposition political parties, are meant to put the party in reigning now in check. The current party, that the opposition is meant to put them in check, but that we don't have any opposition anymore. The PDP is silent, they seem spineless. The Labour Party is trying, but it feels like it's only one person who is talking. So if there is no opposition political party, then what kind of system of governance are we operating? That's the major question, all right? Right now, I want us to speak with Mr. Elvis Elimehele. He's a political, national and social affairs commentator. Mr. Elvis too is also a journalist of several decades. And I want him to respond to some of these questions that we threw at him. There's quite a lot actually to speak on the political spotlight. But let's hear what Mr. Elvis Elimehele has to say. Mr. Elvis, good evening and thank you for joining us on the political spotlight.
Good evening, Esther. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. Let us start off with this whole situation with the protest. Omoyele Sowore has been very astute. He was on our radio station, I think, on Friday, virtually, and he gave us his own perception. We already know his stance. He's calling that the protest must hold. Other supporters of the protest too are saying they will come out. But we've seen the response of the government towards the planned protest. There have been several means to ensure that panic is instilled or fear is instilled on the people from having to comment or go on with the protest. So this protest has been so much talked about. Do you think it will take place? Do you think it will hold on? Mr. Elvis, can you hear me?
I've actually gone past that. I can hear you. I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
All right, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I said we have gone past that level of thinking whether it will take place or not. Definitely the protest is going to take place.
Okay.
What we are going to be talking about is whether it will span through the 10 days that time for the protest. That's first to that's what we should be talking about.
Right.
But for that 1st of August, at least something will definitely happen by that 1st of August. But whether they will be able to sustain it for the 10 days is the only issue that we should be talking about. The protest will take place. Nigerians are ready. The angry Nigerians are more than those that are calling for the protest not to take place.
Go ahead, Mr. Elvis. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm saying that the Nigerians that are I'm saying that the Nigerians that are angry and that are hungry and that are eager for a change, a genuine change, are actually more than those that are calling on the protest not to hold. So, and again, you agree with me that all these consultative meetings that the government have been having with.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
We will agree. I mean, you will agree with me that all these consultative meetings the government have been having with some group of Nigerians are actually to just buy time. It's not as if the protest will not hold. The protest will hold. And again, with all these threats from the armed forces, the police, and the military, it's just to instill fear in the mind of Nigerians. But I want to tell you that the hungry man who is already down.
So there's an interference. There's a serious signal interference.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
All right,
I think it's coming from your end.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that even this fear that the armed forces is trying to instill into the heart of Nigerians, we are ready for Nigerians, both the military and the police and all of them, is just an empty threat. The Nigerians are hungry and are angry. Nigerians are already down. The Bible says, he that is down fears no fall. So all these ones, Nigerians are already jumping into the lagoon, committing suicide. What's more than the military confronting them on the street? They are ready to face the bullets because so many Nigerians have already started taking their lives as a result of hunger and depression from the economic policies of this government. So this strike, the protest will take place. It's already that's not going to be an issue. But the only issue is whether they can sustain it for the 10 days that they told Nigerians that they are going to go with the protest. That's the only thing we should be talking about.
Mr. Elvis, the Nigerian military has said that any form of breakdown of law and order, they would crush. Like, they're not kidding. They will not tolerate anarchy. That's what the Nigerian military has said. Do you think that that's a subtle threat to discourage those who may want to come out on this protest from protesting?
Yeah, it is. It is an absolute threat. But let them mind it, Esther, that if this protest is not hijacked, it doesn't result to violence. Will they still crush Nigerians who are protesting for their rights? They will not. If the protest is peaceful throughout the period, there's no way the military will come in. The military will only be invited in if the police can no longer manage the situation. Police is the civil armed forces that is supposed to manage this issue of this nature. If it goes beyond them, that is, if it's hijacked, and we know that such counter will always come from the government, to move them out of the street and to label them. So that's why they will invite in the military. The government has a way of, hijacking it so that the protester can be labeled, and they will now have an opportunity to invite in the military. But if it is peaceful, all true, the military will not come in, and if it is peaceful and the military does not come in, which means Nigerians will have, registered their grievances and they would have made their voices heard to the whole world.
Is the military meant to even come in the first place? Is the military meant to come in the first place?
They are not meant to come in. They are not meant to come in. They are not meant to come in. They are always saying that if they are invited, and that's if the police is overwhelmed and they are invited, they will come in. But if the protest is peaceful, there's no point of them coming in. They are to watch and see what is also going on. Are they not Nigerians? Okay. Don't they go to the same market you and I go to? Are they not feeling the same issue we are feeling?
Mr. Elvis, you said, don't they go to the same market you and I? I don't think so, Mr. Elvis.
Are you saying Nigerian military is not go to the same market? Okay, let's not look at the major generals and the generals and the top ranking officers. Look at the young men that are dying in battlefield with Boko Haram and bandits. Don't they have families that go to the same market? How much do they earn? How much do they earn? The young boys that they recruit every day and push to Boko Haram enclaves and bandits and all that. How much do they earn? Don't they, those young boys and their young families, they go to the same market you and I go to. Let's not look at the high ranking officers who are military chiefs, who rubbing shoulder with the who is in the government. But look at the rank and file. They go to the same market you and I go to, Esther, and they feel the same thing that we feel. And they are the ones that are dying in the battlefield, all in the name of fighting insurgents that have become political, that have become a business.
Okay, so let's look at this, right? The United States mission in Nigeria has issued a security alert regarding the planned nationwide strike, which is scheduled for August 1, and the alert is titled Alert Potential Nationwide Protest. It was published on its website. Okay, so they're talking about roadblocks, checkpoints, traffic congestion, and physical confrontations. And the alert is noting that specific times and locations for potential protests have not yet been announced. But from media reports, the U.S. mission said they are advising its citizens and others on precautions to take, saying that these included monitoring local media for updates, avoiding crowds, and avoiding demonstrations. They are also advising those who are in the country to be on alert and not just move anywhere. Do you think some U.S. emissaries or some U.S. locations or some U.S. establishments in the country would close down during the course of the protest with this security alert that they have actually circulated on their website?
Well, the security, the protest itself, Esther, is going to ground movement.
Why should protest ground movement, actually? If you're converging in a why should it ground economic activities or commercial activities?
It's going to ground it because the same way the U.S. Embassy is issuing this now, is the same way most of the employers are also, telling their workers to be cautious of those days, so that they will not run into counter attack. You understand?
Yes.
Everybody has to be very conscious. Even me, as I'm talking to you now, Esther, I'm going to watch those number of days before I'll know how to move, whether I'm going to move or not. You understand?
Okay.
We thank God for the level of communication we have in Nigeria. Even if you don't move, you can still do one or two businesses within yourself and within around with the telephone and all that. So that kind of warning is important. I don't even want to call it warning, like a kind of caution. You are just telling them, let's watch things. Even without them coming to the office or whatever, most of them can work. Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
I say even without them coming to the office, most of them can work from home. Look at the whole period of COVID. People started working from home. So if it is just these 10 days that they have to work from home, if the protest stays throughout the 10 days, they can stay, because it will be bad if we have foreign nationals involved in the protest and something happened and maybe one of them is killed or whatever. That will have a bigger message to the world.
But Mr. Elvis, in this advice you're giving, what about those of us who have no choice but to come to work? What about those of us whose companies do not provide transport or will I say vehicles to convey their staff, all right, from the office to home? Would you say, especially for those who need to be physically present at work, how did they go about it?
Esther, for some of us who have been in the media ever since, we have had this kind of situations, and we have been able to manage it over the years, even from the military era to this democratic dispensation. So the office should make arrangements for contingencies, pick some of their key staff that need to be in the studio. Because the office vehicles are branded.
Yes.
Then this staff has to come up with a bigger a bigger identity card, not just this small identity card. We have the one we normally put on our chest, on our neck, that looks bigger, so that everywhere you get to, you easily be identified. Then sometimes we have to have a crested a vest, you know, that you have to wear like a jacket, a small jacket, so that they just know that this is press. Because where we are going into now, if the office have not made arrangement for those ones, they should make arrangement between now and Wednesday. Because if this protest kicks off on Thursday, some of you need to be in the studio to make things work.
Yes, exactly.
And as a result, you need to be kitted so that you can be shielded from the whatever may be outside. Let's not call it violence. Anything can happen, but you have to be shielded because you are going to do your job. You see some of this war situation, journalists cover it. You see them with crash helmets and sometimes with what they call it, this bulletproof jackets,
well,
you know, so that they be able to.
You're speaking on some media organizations that understand what they're supposed to do. Some media organizations don't understand the importance of protecting the lives or the rights of the people they work with, and beyond media organizations, other private companies as well. Because what you said is very vital: the protection of lives of the staff members that work with you, and ensuring that the protest doesn't affect their movement and nobody comes to harm in the cause of trying to live up to their responsibility. What you actually said right now is very noted. I needed us to actually look at that. Now, what is the process for? What is the process for coming up with a protest? Because right from the onset, like Mike Ejiofor said, former DSS director, he said that the protesters gave Nigerians, or rather gave the government enough time. There's supposed to be a protocol, a modus operandi for protest organization. For example, others have called for dialogue first. So they're asking, have the Nigerian youth decided to dialogue with the government before they go on with the planned protest? But then we do know that nobody wants to have a face, because we know what happens. The DSS goes to your house, take you in the middle of the night, lock you up, begin to interrogate you, threaten you, deny you of you having access to a legal representative. So that's why nobody has decided to come out and say, okay, let's have a dialogue with the government. We are the faces behind this protest. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. And then another question that's been asked is, what is a protest being defined? Because the idea is to educate people on how to go about the protest if they don't know how to go about it. So do you think that all the protocols that is necessitated when organizing a protest, do you think it has been followed through?
Yeah, some of them we have seen it. We saw the senior advocate Adegboruwa. He has written the IG that his group is going to participate in the protest, and they need the coverage.
Okay.
That's what the letter, I read the letter, he needs coverage for his group. And that's what it means. The police are supposed to protect the protesters and not to confront them.
Yeah.
So such is a good move. And even in Abuja, I learned that they have actually asked for Eagle Square where they want to converge.
Yeah.
So whether it's released to them or not, that's another kettle. If it's released to them, that means they want to have an appropriate place to organize themselves. If it's not released, it is going to be at the detriment of even the government. That means they'll be on the streets. If they're on the streets, anything can happen. But if they are in Eagle Square, they can organize themselves. Okay, we want to move to National Assembly. They can go from there to National Assembly and come back to where they left. They took off from. So all these are some of the protocol. We have done these things before, and we know what we're talking about. Sometimes those days we used to gather at Ojo Elegba. From Ojo Elegba during the military era. From Ojo Elegba we moved down to West Maryland and others to Ikeja. Then when we are coming back again, sometimes we come to Ojo Elegba again. So you saw the one that they are organizing, the president organizing 2012 now during the Goodluck Jonathan's removal of subsidy. They stayed in Ojota, Ganifa Emi Park in Ojota. That was a rally ground. So such places must be they must be given such opportunity to converge somewhere where they will articulate their movement and plan out their movement and come back where necessary. And as they are going, the police should just drive along with them and protect hoodlums or whatever from smashing the protest, the good ideas of the protest. So that's why the police should be a standby. Even at wherever they converge, the police should be there so that people will not come in and start molesting them. You saw what happened in Ikeja last time. Those people that were in Ikeja, the hoodlums came with buses during the NSAS and started attacking them. So those are some of the things that the police should be able to do and to forestall breakdown of law and order in this protest that end bad governance protest that Nigerians are gearing up
Mr.
for.
Elvis, the organizers of the upcoming nationwide hashtag End Bad Government protest have warned security agencies that there will be consequences if any of the protesters are attacked. Now they are demanding that if they kill, maim or hurt any member out there to protest, they will demand the resignation of President Bola Tinubu and his entire cabinet if any of them is attacked in any part of the country. The Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Army, the State Security Service and other security agencies, of course, like I already said earlier, have been making statements which are meant to discourage this planned protest. All right, they have provided warnings on the death and destruction that marred the October 2020 NSAS protest, and taking an inspiration from the Kenyan uprising. They are saying that this is worrisome. Nigeria is not Kenya. All right, so apparently, based on this particular 10-point agenda of the intending protesters, they're warning security agencies that during this protest, if one protester is killed, maimed or arrested, that they will not back down until Tinubu and his entire cabinet steps down. Now, here's a weekend. Supporters of the All Progressives Congress are saying that, and of course the DSS as well as the Nigerian police, their intelligence arm, they are saying that mercenaries, foreign mercenaries, are the sponsors or the faces behind this planned protest. DSS too came out to say that they have identified the faces of this planned protest. So, what would you say to this? With the warning given by the organizers of this protest that if anything happens to anybody, they would ensure that the president resigns. Is it possible for something like that to take place, considering the fact that already there have been precautionary measures being installed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his defense or security department?
Well, such a tall order, that's a warning from the protester.
Yeah,
is difficult to achieve in this part of the world, especially in Africa. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, even if the executive resigns with his cabinet, who takes over? Probably the legislators. Before an election is conducted, supposing anything of that nature can even happen. Is the legislator better? Are they better? The legislators, are they better? These are people that shared millions within their kitty, drive SUV of 160 million that we don't know of. So let's not even get to that area. Let us be very focused with the specificities of this protest. Those agenda, those items they outlined. Let us see if the federal government will actually come to terms with them to say, okay, now that the protest has commenced, and now that we don't want this protest to escalate to a level that we cannot manage, let's come into round table. We will do this. We will do this. We will do this now. They give us time to do this. Then such an agreement can be reached. Do you understand? Because any protest that does not have outlines or does not have specificity that, oh, this is why we want embarking on this protest, it is regarded as a useless and aimless thing. You see, in 2020, the focus of the protest was NSAS. And you will agree with me that even before the government hijacked that protest, the protesters have already succeeded. They've succeeded. Today, at least, we don't have SARS like on the street like they used to do to young boys, harassing and all that. Even though that we still know that some policemen, some overzealous policemen still go, beyond their line of duties. Yeah. But at least it has reduced to some extent. So we should, this protest, they should stick to those items that they have highlighted. You understand? Not, polarizing it. When you are talking about the executive resigning and all that, you are like, talking about ending a functional government. This is a democratic government. Before you can end that, you have to be in the pool. So that the government will not have an opportunity of saying, oh, it's treasonable, they want to overthrow the government of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Those things should be played down. Let them be specific. Yes.
Thank you so much. This protest conversation will still continue to go on, but the thing is, there are bedeviling issues. There are bedeviling issues. The major one is that food is expensive. Nigerians don't have access to food. People are begging.
Exactly.
People are committing suicide. People cannot afford to.
Yes, Esther, let me tell you. Yesterday, I saw new yam. I said, okay, let me buy yam. New yam as is coming out, Esther, one tuber was selling for 7,000 naira.
Mr. I don't live in the elitist. I just said it. I went to the market yesterday to buy yam because new yam just came out. I went to buy old yam.
Yeah, yesterday evening.
I bought mine one tuber 75.
7,000 yesterday evening. I don't live in the elitist part of Lagos. I live somewhere around the Solo. Isolo is not an elitist person. Somebody will not be thinking I'm talking to you from Lekki or Ajah, where the big men are. Around the Isolo, Jacob Day Estate, Isolo, a tuba of yam is 7,000 naira. You know what that means? And this is supposed to be harvest season, where it's supposed to have at least come down a little.
Exactly.
And you are beginning. You are beginning with 7,000. So by this time next year, before the new season, new yam will come again. Oh, what do you think Nigeria will be buying? So these are the things we'll be talking about. The hunger is too much. The high price of food stuff is too much. I bought a half bag of rice on Thursday last week for 37,000 naira. The woman actually told me, I removed this 3,000 for you because it's supposed to be 40,000. Because she's my regular customer. You can imagine such thing. It's biting. And the federal government is paying 70,000 naira minimum wage.
Mr.
By the time you remove a half bag of it.
That one is yamo. Let's not even talk about protein. Buying fish,
no, not talking at all.
Meat or chicken.
Meat.
It's like it's rich people that are eating those kind of protein. Mr. Elvis, it's not a funny scenario.
It's not a funny one. Scenario. A carton of chicken I used to buy. A carton of chicken I used to buy 20,000, 22,000. I went there last week Thursday. They told me it's 44,000 naira.
You can imagine.
Local chicken carton 44,000. I could not buy a carton. I have to even start begging them to share it into two for me for 21,000, 22,000. Imagine such thing. It is difficult.
Mr. Elvis, I'm pleading with the government to do something about this. When your citizens cannot afford food, it can lead to something else. It's not funny. It's not a good situation where people cannot eat. At least, even if people don't have jobs, they should be able to feed, no matter how little.
That's why you are seeing the anger. That's why you are seeing the anger on the street, Esther. Every other judgment can be given, but nobody will give judgment and say go and remain in hunger. It's an abomination. Nobody will tell you go and remain in hunger. That's my judgment. Nobody says that.
You can't.
Even the prisoners are given food too.
I'm just trying.
Prisoners are entitled to even food. Even no matter the offense that you are committed, you are in the prison, you are entitled to food. So how will Nigerian free citizens in their own home cannot feed their children any longer? It's an aberration. So the government must look into all this.
You know, this is the long-term holiday, right? Children are at home.
Yes, the children are coming home. They are coming home. They are home now.
This is the long-term holiday. They have to eat.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
My God, parents, I'm congratulating you right at this moment. The Lord is yours.
That's why the parents. Amen. Amen.
That is your fortification. Mr. Elvis, let's move on to Kenneth Okonkwo. I mean, it took everybody, it made everybody surprised today when he tweeted what he tweeted. He wrote, he detailed several instances where Obi's leadership fell short, including his failure to organize an inclusive convention for the party's leadership selection. And we know that he was a former spokesperson for the Labour Party. And of course, he announced his departure from Peter Obi's political camp, citing leadership issues within the party. I'm sure you remember the time when he distanced himself from the Julius Abure National Working Committee.
Yes.
And he also said that he thought Obi would use the opportunity to sanitize the party. So Okonkwo is questioning that, does it mean Peter Obi is not aware that without a solid party base that we're heading nowhere politically? That's what he's saying. He's also questioning Peter Obi's statement when he said, I did not promise Nigerians to build a strong Labour Party but to solve Nigeria's problems. So he went ahead to detail other issues and use the opportunity to criticize Peter Obi for not distancing himself from the controversial activities of the former National Working Committee. And he also highlighted labor unions' frustration, saying that some of them are openly saying that Peter Obi is now the problem of Labour Party. Now, Mr. Elvis, I remember that time, right, when this whole situation came up and questions arose that, is it possible with what is going on within the Labour Party that Peter Obi should step aside and start up a new political party? Others are saying that, okay, he can remain. The fact that the party is going through its own issues, it doesn't mean that he should step away from it. Others are saying, okay, Peter Obi, you've not come out to categorically chastise Julius Abure based on the infractions that were leveled against him. You didn't call the party together until things degenerated to a point whereby it became quite embarrassing before you now decided to come in. Others say, is it the role of Peter Obi to do all of this? He is a member of the party, yes, but is he part of the National Working Committee? All right, he's a presidential candidate. He believes that there are people at the executive who can handle things. Even if he doesn't officially come in to intervene, he could have at the back end been speaking and liaising with them. I remember during the convention, he wasn't part of the convention because he told Julius Abure that he did not go about it in the right way it's meant to go. So what comes up now is people are saying, why did what's his name, Kenneth Okonkwo, come out to write this, knowing that Peter Obi has been receiving serious backlash from the opposition? Why did Kenneth Okonkwo not silently distance himself? After all, everybody has moved on when he said he's no longer part of the Labour Party. Others are saying that, was he paid to write what he wrote, to smear Peter Obi by saying he's spineless and that he doesn't have the attributes of a leader if his political party does not have a solid base? So there have been back and forth and different reactions towards this letter that Kenneth Okonkwo wrote. So would you suggest that Peter Obi leave the Labour Party? Would you suggest that Peter Obi comes out openly to criticize some of the anomalies within the Labour Party? Would you suggest that Peter Obi set up an obedient political party ahead of 2027? And do you think this thing that Kenneth Okonkwo has done will further serve as a deterrent towards his support or, the popularity of his personality? What's your take on that?
Marriage of questions, Esther. I think. First of all, let me just give it to Kenneth Okonkwo. Sorry, that he gave out his mind that he is not comfortable staying with Obi again, because he was expecting Obi to have been much more vibrant, as in getting his mandate, or even if his mandate was taken away from him, he wanted to see him much more in the political scene, attacking the present government and their policies. Good, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's what we are still discussing now. That's what is also still leading to the protests we are still talking about now. But let me quickly settle that. But Obi is the arrowhead of Labour Party at the moment.
You say he's the what? I think he had that part. Hello, Mr. Elvis. Okay, we seem to be having a network situation. Mr. Elvis, can you hear me? Mr. Elvis, can you hear me? All right, well, we'll try to establish connection with Mr. Elvis Elimehele because we seem... Mr. Elvis, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. So
the connection is... I couldn't hear you. Are you somewhere where the connection is fluctuating?
Okay, I let me know.
Hello? Hello? All right. I think it's time. I would have loved Mr. Elvis to respond to these calls, to these questions I asked him, because I wanted to get his own perspective to this. The network has not been favorable for a lot of us. I've been using one particular network since last night. You can't call, you can't receive calls. It's not funny at all. Okay, so I'm trying to reestablish connection with Mr. Elvis. Mr. Elvis, can you hear me now?
Hey, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please go ahead quickly.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that I don't envy His Excellency Peter Obi at this stage.
Okay.
Because every issue that is revolving Labour Party, everybody is looking at Obi to solve it.
All right.
And we had this discussion sometime in the studio where you were like, if he should leave Labour Party and all that. I said then that a leader, one of the functions of a leader is to solve problems.
All right.
He has to look for a solution to everything that is going on in Labour Party. Because if he was the president of Nigeria through Labour Party today, he would have been the head of that. He would have been the leader of that party, and there is no way he would have, jettisoned that party, especially when he would be talking of contesting through that party in 2027. Every problem that would have be coming up in Labour Party would have found a way to solve it. But be that as it may, even as it is now, he has a responsibility to make sure that he's able to solve every problem that is arising from Labour Party, because Nigerians are looking at him that Obi must be able to mend his home before talking about the general problem of Nigeria. That's number one. Then number two, Kenneth Okonkwo coming out to say, oh, he's no longer going to align with him and all that. That's his choice. He spoke his mind. But he should also know that if Obi is too forceful, this government will pick him up. And when they pick him and incarcerate him, Obi will not even be in circulation for 2027 general election, even if he has that intention to contest. Do you understand?
Yes.
They can brand him, they can label any charges against him and keep him in detention. 2027 will come and go. He will not even be around to even say, oh, I'm contesting again or I'm not contesting. That's why This man has never been a violent person. That's why he's trending this thing softly. Any area that needed to be clear with the court, let them go to court and clear it. But the problem in Labour Party, Esther, is a problem that is orchestrated by members of Labour Party just to destabilize Labour Party and destabilize Obi. Recently, Esther, we started reading that the factional leader of Labour Party, that's Lamidi Apapa, has now come in agreement with Julius Abure.
Yes.
You know, recently we started
Arababe.
that. Yes, and Arababe, they are now together. They've made fences. They've settled their differences. They are now even saying that the problem they have in Labour Party is Peter Obi.
Wow.
That Peter Obi came and hijacked Labour Party. So you cannot imagine that the problem in Labour Party is a problem that is orchestrated within. It's like an implosion. They want an implosion to happen in Labour Party just to psych Obi and give him different names that is not a leader, that he could not manage his party. But Obi should be able to stand firmly. First of all, the Inewi convention that Julius Abure is heading on to today, is it approved by INEC? Is it guaranteed? Is it what everybody in the party accepted? Obi should be able to speak on that. Then the area of Nigeria Labour Congress saying that the party, they own the party, and as a result, the Julius Abure's tenure has expired and he should leave. Obi should be able to wade in too and have meetings. These are very simple matters now. If it is the one that another convention has to be conducted, they have to look at their constitution, what their constitution, the constitution of the party says. Then if it is one they cannot resolve amicably, they can go to court. Let court make a pronouncement on it. Then they follow the details of the court. So the coming to say Obi should be more forceful, that even if Nigerians vote for Obi, he doesn't think Obi will be able to claim his mandate and all that. Obi cannot begin to be like a gangster. He cannot begin to do things like the way these political parties that brought us to our knee now, APC and PDP are be doing things. We needed a refined and defined and mature change that will propel us to the world that we are so civilized. Last week, Saturday, Esther, I was in your studio when we saw the breaking news that Biden has stepped down.
Yes.
That's to tell you that these people are not too power drunk like we are here in this part of the world. You will agree with me that if it was Nigeria, Biden will say, let heaven loose, let earth crash. He will not step down, that he will go ahead with his mandate. Yeah. But he has left. So things of that nature, that kind of refined democracy, is what Obi is trying to bring into any of the political party, whether Labour Party or whatever party he goes into. But unfortunately, we have not been able to get to that level of that kind of refined system in Nigeria yet. We saw the present president say, snatch it, grab it, and run with it. That's the system that is still in our head. But until we are able to purge ourselves off of that system of grabbing by force, snatching by force, we will not move forward. So I think that's the area.
The opposition political parties have become so docile, and do you think that's why this current administration feel that they are going on unchallenged? They are confident in 2027 that they will come on board again. Possibly they've been able to achieve the aim of weakening the opposition. For example, like you just said, there are some elements within the Labour Party who are there to destabilize the peace and serenity of the Labour Party. The PDP themselves they no longer talk. All right, we're seeing what's going on in Rivers State. It almost feels like the governor doesn't know what to do. He belongs to a political party that has tried to say one or two things, but they're not strong enough. So do you think this administration considers itself unopposed? And that's basically why, there's a sense of nonchalancy or being irresponsive to the pleas of the people.
Yes, but the very first thing they did was to poach PDP, get some of their members into their cabinet, especially Nation Wike. And Wike has already divided PDP before he even became member of the cabinet of this administration. So that is what PDP should have fought ab initio. I don't know the kind of influence Wike wields in PDP that today PDP has not made a categorical statement about Wike, whether he's still their member or not. I mean, there is a law that says we used to hear of anti-party activity. All the 5 governors that he took away, to himself and used it to plunder their election. Till now that he's a member of the cabinet of the opposition. Yeah, the PDP have not made a categorical statement about him. That shows that PDP is actually at a very weak point, very weak stage in this Nigeria political history.
So what
it's
does
so
that,
bad.
what does that say for our political parties?
If
it means that the Labour Party, the PDP, the NNPP, none of them are actively opposing. They basically talk, but they're not active. So what does that say actually for our political dispensation?
Actually, Esther, what it says that we are in a very serious situation. The failure of those opposition party is what you are seeing with this protest now that is being organized by Nigerians themselves. These are supposed to be the job of opposition political parties, members, and then bring Nigerians into it. Unfortunately now, Nigerians are like a rudderless ship. We are not the one that is organizing protests by ourselves. You know, before we used to talk of Nigeria Labour Congress. We have seen that Nigeria Labour Congress has also gone haywire on their own. They are for themselves now. You cannot see now, even the federal government now do not even know who to dialogue with as far as this protest is concerned, because some of them are saying they are faceless. Some of them they are just calling on different organizations now to start talking to them. Mind you, these organizations they are even calling, many of them do not even know the organizers of this protest. That is the failure of the opposition party in this nation. Opposition party have failed in their responsibilities. One of their functions as an opposition is supposed to be check and balances to the ruling party, the government in power, and be able to scrutinize all their policies and programs. Unfortunately, what we are seeing is one presidential candidate who failed in the election issuing his own statement somewhere, then another one issuing his statement somewhere. But this is a political party that is supposed to have a functioning executive. They have all the executive that is supposed this is coming from the secretariat of this party, PDP. And the whatever is their statement concerning the policies and program of the government, supposed to come from the public relation office of their party. Unfortunately, we are not seeing that. The last time I heard so much about PDP political PRO making some statement was when Ologbondiyan was their PRO.
Yeah.
Since Ologbondiyan came in, Ologbondiyan has not been doing. The secretariat. Let me say, the secretariat have not actually supported him to do his job or whatever. So we are seeing Atiku Abubakar issuing his own statement, as a former candidate. That's not good enough for a political party that stands as an opposition. We are seeing Obi issuing his own statement as a former candidate for Labour. It's not good enough. So the political parties, the political parties, opposition political parties that have not done their job very well are tailoring Nigeria into a one-party state. That's why Nigerians are saying no. Even if we want to be a one-party state, not APC that have come to plunge this nation, not APC that have told Nigerians all the lies that Nigerians can no longer feed. That's the anger that is on the street now that you are seeing that protest is coming up on the 1st of this month.
Mr.
So
Elvis,
the opposition party have failed in their responsibilities.
I want us to start taking calls now. But is it possible that at any point in time, in the beautiful, multicultural definition of what Nigeria is all about, that we'll be able to tame, shame, and maim corruption? Do you see that happening in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, it is going to happen, but I pray it will be in our dispensation, except miracle happens, because I still see that even with this protest now, people are still talking of, ethnicity and religion and all that. Until we are able to purge ourselves of all this. We go to the same market. Now, Q have just suddenly come up in Lagos between yesterday and today now. Q have just
this Q?
I mean, no explanation. The party will come and start telling us lies.
No, they explain.
The lies are too much.
They said the birthing of the ship, mother to daughter ship or something.
Esther, last 2 weeks, when the queue was in Abuja, last 2 weeks and 3 weeks ago, they told us that there was a technical hitch in as a result of weather and all that. So in Apapa port, that's why the ship could not discharge, and there was a hitch, a small hitch in the circulation of fuel to the north. That's why Abuja had that problem. That Abuja problem is still persisting now, and it has got it to Lagos. And now it's in Lagos now. They are telling us now that there is another issue. I mean, when are we going to live above these lies from government that is supposed to tell the citizens the truth so that the citizens can believe in them? This is why we are talking on the opposition now. Opposition must be able to checkmate every excesses of this government so that Nigerians can hear the truth. One of the serious anger that is on the street, that this government has deceived us enough. They've told us enough lies. Tomorrow, when this one continue, you hear another thing again from NNPC. They will say another thing. The statement they released today, in another 3 days from now, if it's not abating, they'll release another one.
In fact, the NNPC declared war on oil production in the country. They're claiming that there are a lot of pipeline vandals, and that has reduced oil production. We've heard Dangote talking about certain cabals trying to distort the process.
Certain cabals.
Yes, that conversation.
Dangote is even talking of. Yeah, Dangote is even talking of mafias.
Yes,
mafias in the oil sector.
He said so.
Then you remember they told us that Port Harcourt refinery will start working early this year. Mm-hmm. From there they shifted it to March. From March they set it to June. Now June we don't even know when again. When they told us that the mechanical whatever has been concluded in the Port Harcourt refinery. I mean, how long do you listen to a government that speaks from both sides of the map, and you believe that the citizen will be part of such government? A government you cannot vouch for. That's what is leading to this anger.
It is.
So we have issues. We have so much issues.
Mr. Elvis, thank you so much, because it's not funny at all. It's not funny. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, it's time for you Nigerians. Let's know what you think based on the conversation we've had so far. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. The WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 38. That's the number. Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name and location, please? Hello. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, please?
My name is Mr. I'm calling from Lagos.
All right. Go ahead, please.
It's with nobody coming out to speak for because as a result of the multiple system of political parties in Nigeria, if you were to be a true political party system, I guess you have to face, because nobody wants to be stigmatized, nobody wants to be a scapegoat.
All right.
You get.
All right.
Now, as for the issue of the protest, we Nigerians take up our rules as citizens of this country. It's a normal thing.
Right.
Because nobody wants to speak for us. Now, our rights for ourselves and claim our rights.
Right.
Because we know what is happening.
All right. I don't know, but the connection is not really smooth. It keeps breaking. Okay. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes. How are you?
Fine.
Hello.
Hello, Esther.
Yes. What's your name, please, and location?
Yeah, my name is Osadebe. I'm calling from Shesha.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to speak on two issues. One is the military involvement in civilian matters, civil affairs. They have dragged the pride of our nation, the military, into politics to the extent that nobody has regard for the military anymore.
Really...
Look at what happened in Tokomu or whatever. Look at what is happening all over. Our military, well-trained men are being killed all over. What's the business of the military in this matter? Has the police demonstrated incapacity to handle what is it called? Handle civil demonstrations? Have the people even come out to say this is how we are demonstrating? You are bringing military. Tomorrow you develop public enemies here and there. Whoever is in charge of the military should remove the military from all this type of politics. The same way they have destroyed traditional institutions, religious institutions, they are bringing military into it. What is the business of military? Military is supposed to handle our external affairs.
All right, thank you.
Coming to the opposition. Okay, we'll talk later about the opposition parties.
Thank you so much. I need to take more calls. All right, 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903, and the WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name, please? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, Madam Aisha.
Good evening. How are you? Welcome to the Political Spotlight. Name and location, please.
Yeah, it's Nemeka from Nigeria, please.
All right, Nemeka, go ahead.
My duty to address you has spoke very fine.
Okay.
Please, Kenneth Okonkwo, we are begging him.
If you want to leave Labour Party, make him leave the Labour Party. It will not for force Tinubus to be able politician. Which one did this? You are telling the man to take control of Labour Party just like that. Nobody him there inside the party. There's the rule and regulation inside that party. And you can't jump that rule and regulation and do your will. If you are somebody inviting you somewhere, go and join them. Go and join them. Nobody is forcing you to be in the party. So if you want to have a popularity, don't condemn people to have that. And we are saying that excuse, that advice about the protestation and the demonstration.
All right. Okay.
There are some things that are giving me a concern, Esther.
What is it, sir?
Our security apparatus.
Okay. Hello.
Not giving us any decision, any trust, because police.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Have you seen what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these foreign people they are talking about, they could have implemented those people before telling about.
Hello.
We don't know what they come to do here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nemeka. Thank you so much. I appreciate you calling 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. I'm sorry, I can't read your WhatsApp messages now. The phone has gone off. I don't know. We can't take some calls at this moment. We will try to get the connection working back. Our phone has, the battery's run out, so I will try to reestablish connection on that. I'll read out some messages on YouTube, and the messages right here while we try to see how we can resuscitate our phone is that if somebody says here on YouTube, the protest is not all about party. Of course, that's Obi Ifene. It's gone off. So Little Mistakes also says, Esther, do you remember about the field marketers news of last week? This is why we have queues. Alhaji Peter says, judging Mr. President for just 360 days in office. Haba, let's begin to talk about this government. Say in 720 days. And of course, Kanechiko Frank says, presently, I'm not in Nigeria, but I feel their pains and suffering. I don't know if you guys can contact us on Facebook or YouTube. Send your messages on YouTube at the moment while the engineers try to solve WhatsApp situation.
Hello?
All right. Hello. Can you hear me? This is on WhatsApp. So call on WhatsApp if you want to be part of the conversation for now, please. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Hello. All right, the number to call on WhatsApp is 0817-1756-338, 0817-1756-338. Hello?
Hello, good evening, Esther and Wachuku.
Yes, good evening, sir. Name and location, please.
Yeah, for more.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so Esther, regard to this guy, this lawyer, this lawyer that used to act on video. Kenneth Okonkwo. The guy you're trying to get popularity. He's not Peter Obi's mate. I don't know why many people are using Peter Obi to shine. They're not mates. Peter Obi encouraged him as a brother. Come and join my legal crew. So that's why I learn more. So what nonsense? What we bring about him writing Peter Obi kind of trash. He's just trying to get popularity. That aside. So what I actually call for is, you see, the military in Nigeria, all sectors of the military, they are trying to do one thing I don't understand. They know that we'll be living in pains. They are all here. They know that. I'm not talking about the military per se. I'm talking about the leaders of the military, the bosses of the military, the organs of the military. I want to talk about the boys that will send on after meeting with the president. After you have met with the president, they have started the discussion. What I'm trying to say now is that they know what they're passing through. They know the propaganda, the level and the amount and the number of propagandas we receive and conceived. We are the masses of this country. They know these things. They know they know very well that the government, people running the affair of the government, the aim of affairs now in the government, they'll be telling us to be patient, which we have, or which we've been trying to be patient. We'll see them going to spend frivolously. They will spend money to renovate, not to build new houses. Okay. They will spend 21 billion to renovate just if people know 1 billion naira, even though you're buying spend at the rate of 20,000 naira, if you want to build a house of 1 billion naira, you want to build a new house, we should know the kind of house you build. They would not know that they are spending 1 billion naira. Now again, they'll go up, the president will go and buy a yacht of 4 billion naira, maybe 5 billion naira.
Right.
Now they still want to go and arrange for.
We need to take more calls. All right, you've taken about 2 minutes 6 seconds. Okay, let's take more calls.
Are not saying this? Right. I don't know hear all these things. Right. No, at the minute they organize them. They usually assess it so, or else
all right, thank you. Thank you, right? The number to actually call for now, I would implore you to call on WhatsApp while we try to charge up our cellular line is 0817 1756 338 0817 1756 338. You can call on the WhatsApp line there, and of course I don't know if I can read your messages. I should be able to at some point, but you can actually call with that. All right, the number is 0817 1756 338. Meanwhile, human rights lawyer Inibehe Effiong has announced the formation of a legal team in Lagos State to provide representation for protesters. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir. How are you? Name and location, please.
Yeah, I'm fine. Good evening to your wonderful guests. You have Alexo.
Okay, Alexa, go ahead.
Yeah. See, for the military to get themselves involved in this, it shows that the level of corruption that is going on in the armed forces from the top.
So you don't think that they should come out for no breakdown of law and order?
Why should they make such statement? You are trying to put maybe fear in people. See, a hungry man is an angry lion. See, when people are hungry, they can't feed one single meal a day. What do you expect them to do? People are not, even these protests, they are not planning to go and destroy things or make any. But it is the APC government that is insinuating this kind of statement, making it to look as if people want to come out and, make things ungovernable for them. They are the one perpetrating every evil in this country. And this high-handedness from APC government is not going to lead them anywhere. Let them go and check history. The man that led Germany, what happened to him? Let them go and check history. Right, you can't force the people to a certain point and you think you can overpower them. Power belongs to the people. Let them get to know this.
Thank you so much. All right. The number to actually send your WhatsApp calls to that you can actually call us through is 0817 1756 338 0817 1756 338. That is the number. And of course, you can call through there so we can actually read out or rather hear from you. Okay. All right, like I was saying earlier, that Inibehe Effiong has announced the formation of a legal team in Lagos to provide representation for protesters who may be arrested during the upcoming nationwide protests. He made these known via his X handle on Thursday, so he called on fellow lawyers to join the initiative by offering pro bono services. So it means that the protesters are actually ready. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight.
Hello?
Yes, hello, I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello?
I can hear you. Please go ahead. What's your name? All right. When you call, trust me, I can hear you. Just go ahead and say what you want to say. All right. The number to call is 0817 1756 338. That's the WhatsApp number for you to call, 0817 1756 338. Okay. I don't know if I can read their messages. Can I read messages? I thought it's possible for us to see it across on the screen. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. Hello? All right, I sincerely do apologize for not being able to pick a couple of your calls, especially for some of you who are trying to call via the normal telephone line. We apologize for that. And then, of course, the network may not even let some calls coming through WhatsApp, but we'll make do with what we are able to do. But from now, you can actually go on YouTube. We're streaming live. You can send in your comments in there. I'm going to read it out. All right. Again, I apologize for that. Some persons are here with quite a lot to say on YouTube. Somebody actually says, my mom no longer buys fish or meat. Wala today buy yo. Okay. Somebody says, why are Nigerians too docile? That's Edward James. Edward, I don't think Nigerians are too docile. I think everyone is just being careful. As Elvis Edmond says, Alhaji Peter. Okay, no, I'm not. Don't insult anybody, please. Let's try not to insult anybody. All right. Nora for me says, the problem with Tinubu is that he doesn't hear when the court tells him to free MNK. He didn't hear, but now he will hear. All right, I don't know about that. Somebody also says, Elvis Edmond also says, Adeyemi Adeni, for your information, that is not what the protest stands for. The protest is for hunger in the land. The protest and the protester gave the federal government 3 weeks before the protest. Are they not supposed to say something? All right, okay. Somebody says, Nigerian pastors who don't know the real identity of Jesus, whitewashed pastors. Wow. All right. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. How are you?
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. Please, what's your name?
This is Iyelia calling from Norway.
All right. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I don't have much thing to say. No. I want our youth now that are preparing for this protest. Let them inform all the youth to stop watching BB Niger, because this thing will distract them.
Okay, you see, you're promoting them now. Don't promote them here. Oh.
No. See, excuse me. No, I'm not. See, I'm not promoting anybody.
No, don't call them here. We are promoting them. Please don't produce.
No, see, no, I'm not promoting. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Now I remember. Yeah, sorry. But they should inform them not to watch anything that will distract them. This is the problem Nigeria have.
All right. Okay.
If they have one heart, let them come out. If they don't want Nigeria to be better, let them keep quiet. Let everybody suffer for 80 years. And I and my family will not suffer.
All right. Okay.
Because everybody knows how much they are selling bag of rice and tubers of yam. If Nigerian youth want, they have a lot of things to say.
Okay.
We are here in Norway. No, it's very hard to see a poor man.
Okay.
It's very hard. They have a lot of things. They have food, they have fuel, they have money.
All right.
You need to work, you have money.
Okay.
If you don't work, you cannot have money. Let them protest. Here in North, we are also protesting. If the government is not treating us well, we protest.
All right.
There is reason to protest, so let them protest.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to take some of your WhatsApp messages now. I think the phone has been able to come up. So let me take this. Good morning, crew. I was tempted to study journalism, but thank God I didn't, because I don't have a heart for all this sad news every day. I really praise you guys. You are really strong. Thanks, Noel from Ayabo. All right, Noel, thank you. Somebody also, Noel says, I'm a regular listener of VOP. I find it difficult calling every day without reaching you, and that makes me sad. However, congratulations to you all, the management and staff of the organization. Maybe I could be lucky to call through one day. May God bless you. All right. Also, Noel says, good evening to you in the studio. For the citizens of each state to focus on their governors, they should restructure the country. The president is the one making and deciding all the policies. All right. Noel from Ayabo. Noel, thank you so much for that. Hello. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name, please? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name?
From London, the most eloquent star.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Thank you very much for doing what you do. I'm glad. And the last message you read,
okay.
My father actually wanted me to study journalism.
Oh, really?
Anyway, I did media-related course. I teach more on media, but practicing journalism in Nigeria,
okay.
You guys, they try. God bless your elbow.
Thank you.
Okay, what we are saying here, what this protest is about stabilizing Nigeria. Number one, beg government to stop blackmailing Nigerians. None of us want to see Nigeria on fire. The NSAS they often reference was not done by troublesome people. It was the government that did violence there. But now, I want to ask you, Esther, please. Now, we've heard many people coming out, traditional leaders, pastors, religious leaders, saying, oh, there should not be protests. Look, where were they when these politicians were spending lavishly? Please, can you show me Oni of Ife? Did he release any statement when these people spend senselessly in the midst of hardship. Okay? So, the bottom line here, I understand some people are threatening people with Oro, the sexist ritual. But the point I'm making is this. If the gods are not to be blamed, why the gods allow themselves to be used as agent of oppression? So, I want to urge Nigerians, the sacrifice for a better Nigeria lies with every one of us. Okay. And if you are not I'm going to shut up soon, please. If you are not interested in setting Nigeria free from cankerworm, sit indoor, stay indoor. If you don't want to join the protest, you can go and sleep your life away. But as for we Nigerians that can never be brainwashed, nothing can stop us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I sincerely appreciate you calling. Hello, welcome to the Political Spotlight. How are you? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. All right, sincerely do apologize for that. I can hear you. Let me read some WhatsApp messages. You all know that people are hungry. What has the governor, president done to feed the hungry people? If now everybody is saying people will hijack the protest, those people that are saying that, are they feeding on that Tinubu? In fact, Tinubu and Buhari are not leaders to help Nigerian citizens. All right. Okay. You did not. David from Ikorodu. Thank you, David. Please, when you send your messages, try to be quite legible. All right. So that I can comprehend what you're trying to say. Okay. So good evening, gorgeous lady in the studio. I'm Ifeanyi dollars Kelechi from Lagos. Now let's look at the happenings in Nigeria. So the people, they are not angry about Tinubu being the president of the country or because of the hardship in Nigeria. See, there has been hardship since for long now, just that the hardship has been so much on the people. And do you know the worst of all? The president is saying, give me more time. Just imagine, but he is busy buying cars, renovating the house of the vice president with about 16 to 20 billion, spending carelessly, and he forgot that the persons are watching him. Now he is telling Nigerians to be patient. Okay, to be patient for him to collect more money and spend carelessly. All right, thank you for actually sending that message. Okay, so let me read this. My name is Adeliugo. The government, due to their colonial way of life, will be the ones that will make this protest a violent one. Look at NSAS protest. It was a peaceful one until Nigeria's ancient way of doing things kicked in. It's very simple. Let them protest. At the end, we go home. Wow, it's really good to know that you can do the show alone. No guest is very interesting. Well done, Ma. No, I had a guest via the telephone, and that's Mr. Elvis Elimehele. I was speaking with him to wrap up very soon. Hello, VOP. Kenneth Okonkwo is sabotage. Let's move on. The protest is there. Nothing will stop it, but it will be peaceful. Then tell Nigerian military to stop treating civilians. Okay, Solomon from K2. I still don't understand what you meant by that. And this is saying, okay. Good evening, my sister Esther. These are your questions now. Wow. The funds realized from economic activities of this country are being misused, embezzled. So let the economic activities wait. And you journalists should maneuver your way to work anyhow, because all what that matters right now is ending bad governance and hardship in the country. After all, it's just 10 days protest. Chiagui from Ilasamaja. Wow. Hello. Hello. I don't know why I can't hear your calls. Hello? Hello? I'm sorry, I can't hear any of your calls, all right? I sincerely do apologize. I don't know what is wrong. So maybe for now, try and call the WhatsApp number, because I can't hear anything when you call on the cellular number, okay? All right. Good evening, Esther and your guest. I don't know why APC government are afraid because of the protest. Tinubu did the same thing in 2012 on another radio station. Esther, okay, no, I'm not going to talk about this person. Just say what you want to say. Esther, good evening. Even you that is talking about this government, I think you are APC cabal. See your allegation, no, wahala. You didn't put your name. Okay, oh. Thank you very much for tagging me. Evening, Esther. NSAS and 2023 elections would have been violent free. The government doesn't use agbaros or counter protest. The question is, why does this government hate protest? They rather send Bayonanuga against Obi. Also, send agbaros, police and army, and now traditional rulers and governors to intimidate the people for them not to protest. Case study, NSAS. All right, this is so long. Please make your messages short, okay, so I can take other messages. I think government, in my opinion, wants to test people's strength. What they could do, if not what stops Tinubu to engage Nigerians instead of all the meetings after various committees. Please call the WhatsApp number 0817-1756-338. When you call me, I can hear you. Hello? I can't hear anything when you call, all right? Please. Good evening, Esther. Mark my words, APC and Tinubu are the ones promoting violence in a protest that has not been held. Why bringing the army into this matter? Why desecrating the Yoruba tradition of Oro by using it during elections and to stall the planned protest? Why is Wike turning Abuja FCT into Obiakwa local government? Do well to tell them that God is greater than all of them. O.C. Weje from Shasha. All right, thank you. Hello? Hello? Please, I have told you to call the WhatsApp number. I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? Okay, well, they had to put you on speaker now. It wasn't connecting before. Hello? Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you. All right, what's your name? All right, yes, I can hear you, but I want to put you close to the microphone because I can't hear you through the console. So I have to put you on my microphone. All right, Peter Osifo, please go ahead.
Can I continue?
Yes, continue, please. Thank you. I'm multitasking here. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Now, this is our position. I'm saying that the protest should not go on. No protest anywhere in the world. As far as I'm concerned, I've never protest in the past and I don't.
Okay. All right. Please call the WhatsApp number. The phone is gone off again. All right. The number to call is 0817-1756-338. 0817-1756-338. That's the number to call right now. Hello? 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 I can hear you. Wow. Today is quite interesting. I'm so sorry. All right. I sincerely do apologize. I don't know when we actually think 0817-1756-338. Please send your messages on WhatsApp, or rather call on WhatsApp. Hopefully we can be able to hear from you, and also be part of the YouTube channel so I can read out your messages right here. Unfortunately, you won't be able to call. We can hear you and the phone is down. All right. So Osa says at Elvis Edmond, ignore him. This is okay. No, I'm not going to read that. What's the number to text on VOP? Okay. Just call 0817-1756-338 for now. All right. Just do that. We will hear you. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay, ma'am.
All right. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Owoni Koko from Ikorodu.
Hello?
My name is Owoni Koko from Ikorodu.
All right. Owoni Koko, please go ahead.
Sorry, ma'am. My own advice is that let our Nigerian government come outside and do something.
Hello? I can't hear you. Yeah, what did you say?
My own advice is that let our Nigerian government come outside to do something before the day of the protest, because the protest of this country is not easy. Where they start this protest now, you will see that suddenness will happen inside.
All right, thank you. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Again, let me speak with my analyst, because at this moment, I will not lie to you, I'm not enjoying my conversation with you. It's either the network, and right now I can't connect via the cellular call. So please come on YouTube, send your messages. Let me speak with Mr. Elvis Elimehele. For some of you that I couldn't read your messages, I sincerely do apologize. For some of you that I couldn't take your calls, I couldn't hear you, I sincerely do apologize. But I get the general feeling on your reaction based on the conversation that we have had today. So right now, I want to hear from Mr. Elvis on what he thinks on based on your responses to some of the issues that were raised here today, which of course includes the hashtag End Bad Governance protest. Mr. Elvis, how are you?
I'm good, Esther. I can hear you very well.
Please, let's wrap up. All right, let's wrap up. What's your take on what we've discussed so far and what we've been able to say?
at least those ones I heard, those you read out, I can feel the pulse of Nigerians. There is apprehension. There's apprehension everywhere. This afternoon when I was coming from church, I saw the market close to my area unnecessarily busy. Nigerians are trying to stock up, even from the little they have. They are trying to put 1 or 2 things at home because of this protest. Nigerians are ready because Nigerians are hungry. For the person who said he sympathized with us, that he wanted to read journalism, but because of these bad stories, that's what we are trained for. That's what we are trained for. We are fourth realm of the estate. When it is come, we blow. That's what they call mass communication. When it is come, we give it to. When it is good, we give it to the people. If it's also bad, we give it to the people the way it is. So, Esther, let's be on the watch out between now and Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday is first. This is still a developing story. We are still going to be hammering on it, and more will still come up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis, for taking your time to be part of the conversation this evening. I sincerely do appreciate your input. Like I said earlier, for some of you that we couldn't take your calls, to be honest with you, we sincerely apologize for that. And for some of your messages that we couldn't read out here as well, we sincerely apologize for that. I'm sure if you're watching on YouTube, you could have seen me multitasking. I was trying to see how I could ensure that I get to really feel and hear from you. I do hope that next week we wouldn't have this kind of experience. Our phones will be fully charged to take your calls and hear from you. For some of you who are just joining us for the very first time, please kindly subscribe to VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube. You can follow me on YouTube as well as ESTIQMEDIA. That's subscribe to the YouTube channel. Across the social media handles as well, it's Esther Nwachukwu on Facebook, Esther Nwaz on Instagram, and of course on X is at Esther Nwachukwu. So ESTIQMEDIA. We have quite a lot in there to have major conversations on what is going on within our Nigerian political landscape. Do have yourselves a wonderful Sunday, and let's see how the supposed protest will take place from the 1st of August. Bye for now.